Like the planet Jill's mother. Hello, we're gonna start off this video with the Dutch word of the video. I usually call it the Dutch word of the day, but my husband so lovingly pointed out that I'm not doing this every day, so therefore it can't be the Dutch word of the day. Thanks for that, babe. Dutch word of the video today is actually my favorite Dutch word of all time. And that word is lekker. Lekker. Basically, it means tasty. It has two meanings though. So people use this all the time when, you know, something tastes really good. Like, oh yeah, it's lekker, right? If you ever really like tasty dinner, so a tea tastes nice, they always say it's lekker because that's, you know, obviously the Dutch word for tasty. But my sister-in-law so lovingly taught me that this can also be attributed to the partner in your life. So my husband is lekker. I love this word so much. I don't know why. It brings me such joy to say it. Yep. Dutch word of the video, lekker. Hey, I think I'm actually on time for something. For one, this is my February Wrapped. I read, I think, more in February than I have in any other month for a very long time. I'm sorry if you're hearing coughing in the background, by the way. My father is still really sick, and he's just coughing up a storm. So I apologize in advance if you hear anything. But yeah, I read so much in February. It was a really great reading month for me. I found a niche that made me really happy, and that happens to be alien smut. I absolutely adore alien smut. It has become a thing for me. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I finish a couple series. I'm gonna have to find more somewhere in the woodworks, but we'll see what happens then. So let's get right into the books that I read in February. I'm gonna be doing this a little bit differently because I started off the month reading a series. So I'm just gonna show the whole series and tell you guys the dates in which I read them because I feel like that would work a little bit better for us. So the first book that I read in February was Married to the Alien Cowboy by Ursa Dax. So I read this one on February 1st, Wrangled by the Alien Rancher on February 3rd, and then on February 4th, I followed it up with Resisting the Alien Rider. This series has consumed me, officially consumed me. The fourth book is coming out this month on the 21st. I thought it came out on the 28th. Editing Chris here. I meant that the book comes out on the 21st of March and it was supposed to come out on the 28th of February. Sorry for any confusion. I literally stopped reading everything in anticipation for it, but it didn't end up coming out on the 28th, and I was very disappointed, but I lived through it. So let's talk about it. Married to the Alien Cowboy, this really starts off the entire series. So this follows a group of women who take a position, I guess, to be married off to aliens on a prison planet. So basically there's a few aliens who are on a secluded planet and they've just become ranchers. They provide meat and other resources to other planets, and so, but they're serving a prison sentence basically on this planet for crimes they did when they were kids. So they live on this planet and that's what they're gonna spend the rest of their lives. These women have chosen to apply to be their wives because there is, like, I guess, a experiment going on to see if they will change or if they will become humbled or whatever, or if they'll, like, they're proving their domestication, maybe? That's what the whole series is about. This book follows Cherry and Siler. This book is my favorite and follows Darcy and Fallon. And then the third one follows Garrick and Magnolia. They each have different tropes. This one was probably my least favorite of the three, just because there's a child aspect to it. Not that I'm against anything when it comes to that, but in this one there just seems to be a lot of unnecessary babysitting that I found unappealing, unfortunately. But this one was rated a 4-star. This one was also rated a 4-star, and because of that babysitting element, this was rated a 3-star. Definitely recommend the series if you're looking for something just short. They're really small books. They're not long at all. Again, I read them all in a day each. They're really easy to get through. They're really fun. They're really funny. I'm loving the miscommunication when it comes to alien romances. I think that's what's pulling me in the most, just the fact that they have to kind of communicate in different ways in order to understand each other, and like the aliens don't understand human ways and the humans don't understand alien ways. So it's really just making me happy to read them because they're just so fun. On February 2nd, I actually decided to read The Witches by Roald Dahl. I read this strictly because it is my husband's. I discussed this on a video before. This copy of the book is actually my husband's copy, and he gave it to me. And I decided to read it. I realized that I had actually read this before while I was reading it. I didn't think that I had read it before. I didn't remember most of it, but I remembered that I did read it before, so rereading it again was really, really fun. I rated this one, I think the first time I read it, I rated it a 3, and this time I rated it a 4. Maybe because like the first time I read it, it was the illustrated version, like the one that's on at the library. I had the illustrated version and I just didn't enjoy it as much. It was more like a comic book kind of deal, but reading it in its original form definitely changed things. So I rated this one a 4-star. The next book that I read is a DNF because in January I read Ice Planet Barbarians, the very first one. This beauty right here. I read her in January, loved it, amazing, had no idea what I was missing. So I decided that I was going to read this one because I saw it on Instagram, I saw it on Kindle Unlimited, and I saw that a friend of mine on Instagram had actually read it and was like, what the fuck is this? So that book is called Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. Y'all, it's just not for me. There was just way too much. Okay. I understand it's a milking farm and I knew what I was getting into, okay? I understood what I was getting into. I just didn't know that I would despise it so much. They go into the mechanics of how they do their milking immediately. No lead up, like nothing. It's just not, I can't even talk about it with a straight face. So basically this girl, she is living in a really bad situation, like a really bad apartment. She needs a new job. She takes an ad and it says that she could be a milker. And there's instructional videos. And I got through, I think, 41 pages and I was like, I'm out. Like, once she got an aggressive bull, because she was suddenly really good at her job. Like she's a trainee. She's like really scared, but she's automatically brilliant at what she does. She doesn't spill anything. She doesn't crack any of the jugs. Like, no. And there was just too much in detail discussion about bull milk. I couldn't do it. So I DNF'd it. I guess I'm too immature for the Morning Glory Milking Farm. I don't know. It's gotta be it. Are we ready for this? The next book that I read was Barbarian Alien. So I dived headfirst into this series in February, taking little breaks in between, but Barbarian Alien, I rated this a 4-star. I loved this story because this is Liz's story, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail because my sister still has not read anything other than the first book, but I love this series so much. I love it. So in this month, I'm just gonna go through just like I did the other one. So in this month, I read Barbarian Alien, Barbarian Lover. Barbarian Lover was read actually on Valentine's Day, and I rated it a 4-star. Barbarian Mine, which was read on February 17th, again, rated a 4-star. And I just finished Barbarian's Prize, sorry, on the 28th, so yesterday. All of them rated a 4-star. I love them. I love this series so much. I'm reading a different book right now for another video, but the spines are so pretty. But I just started devouring these. I just started like reading one a day when I picked one up. Like I just read it cover to cover, each and every one of them. Again, they're so easy. The miscommunication trope is there. it just makes me so happy to read them because they're so easy to just lose yourself in. It's really helped my reading this month because I did have a few blunders when it comes to reading, but it's really just helped me get back into it. So that's what I'm using these books for right now, to kind of make sure that I don't stay stagnant when it comes to my reading. And again, I've read more this month than I have anything else. So Ice Planet Barbarian series, I definitely recommend. Absolutely cannot wait to read book 6. I have it on my Kindle waiting for me until, like, for when I'm done the book I'm currently reading. The next book is Swallowed by Meg Smitherson. I rated this book a 1 star. I guess again, it's just, it wasn't for me. And the reason why is because it gave me the ick. Okay, it gave me the ick. So the book follows a girl named Jill Jones, and she is traveling to a different planet to test things for, just to see if it's habitable by humans. Because in this era of the world, Earth has become inhabitable. Humans have destroyed it, which is inevitably going to happen. They destroyed the Earth, and unfortunately, they have to move somewhere else. The humans have to go to a different planet. So they go to this planet, and her mother was actually at this planet in the past. Her mother was on the team, the first Discovery team, and only she returned. Everyone else on the planet went missing. Nobody knows what happened to them. Her mother was saying she doesn't know what happened to them, and she went to her grave, not allowing anyone to know what actually happened on the planet. So Jill and 3 other people, they've been training for this. They go to the planet, and weird shit starts happening. Their brains start morphing. The first one to go missing, they start saying, like, you know, oh, she's beautiful. Like, she's beautiful and you took me away. They had to save them. They were like, I guess they were being consumed by the planet, and Jill's love interest and the other person that was there, they had to save them. It's just weird shit starts happening, and it makes everybody horny. And I was like, oh, okay. But the creepy thing about it was, it comes to light that Jill's mother became pregnant with her while on the planet. And Jill's mother was in love with, I guess, one of the people that was on the exhibition with her, but she was another woman. So Jill's mother was having a relationship with a woman, but somehow got pregnant. And it came to light that the planet impregnated Jill's mother. Like, the planet, Jill's mother. And I mean, again, that's one thing, but what creeped me out is in the book, okay, actually, you know what, this will do it. Here's my review, okay? The one thing that really disturbed me was when the forest/planet entered Jill in a sexual manner. And then we find out the planet is one of Jill's mothers. Apparently the planet impregnated Jill's mother. So the planet, Jill's plant mother, gets her off. It was just weird and not in a good way. You know, it was one of those books where maybe I just didn't understand the whole thing. But it creeped me out when it was brought to light that the planet/forest on the planet was one of Jill's mothers. And then the planet is trying to bring Jill sexual pleasure while she's there. I don't know. It was weird. I don't recommend it. Should have read more of the reviews for it, because everyone else seemed to have the same, you know, thought process as me. But I saw a few 5 stars and I was like, oh, that's cute, that's good. No. It's not. So the next book that I read was called Little Lies and Valentines by Lachelle Rain. I rated this book a 3.5. It's rated up to a 4 on Goodreads because you can't do 0.5s. This book follows Abby, who has just escaped her abusive partner. They had been together since high school, and he was put in jail for, honestly, and she escaped him. Starts working at a coffee shop, but she ends up having a stalker who stalks her, and, you know, a stalker who stalks her, as one tends to do. Basically, this man, I can't remember his name. What was his name? Alex. So Alex sees her walking through the park one day while he's burying a body. Yeah. And comes entranced with her eyes because she looks so sad. She looks like she's crying. She's got a bruise on her face. And he watches her go into the coffee shop and spends months watching her. And then he starts leaving her flowers every week. Every Monday, there's a new bouquet of flowers for her waiting at the coffee shop because she gets a job there. She ends up living above the coffee shop. So it's just a one-stop shop, you know, for the stalking. So he sends her flowers and he starts leaving her notes and saying how, like, he's following her and she will fall in love with him and they will meet one day. And, you know, if you want to communicate with me, write me back. So she becomes a pen pal to her stalker. The book is decent. It's decent. It's not like the best thing I've ever read, but it was a fun little read. Again, I finished it in one day. It's just a short little novella. I think it's like 130 pages or something like that. It's not that long of a book, but like it made me happy for what it was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best. It's right in the middle. So the next book is actually another DNF. I did not have a great month when it comes to this. 2 DNFs in 1 month. And that is Such a Good Girl by Effie Campbell. Now, when I see the words good girl, I'm like, yes, perfect. This is my shit. Love it. This is not what I wanted it to be. We have a woman who is in a sexless marriage. Her husband of 5 years has put on weight. He goes to work, comes home, expects some food on the table, will not touch his wife, spends all night gaming. When she tries, you know, to initiate something with him, he just waves her off. Her mother-in-law is a domineering who like makes fun of her and stuff. She ends up going on, like, she spends her days online shopping because her husband makes a lot of money, but she doesn't want the money, but she has to fill the hole somehow, I guess. She goes online and she finds this collar and like cuff set, and she thinks, you know what, I could wear this for my husband. It comes with like wrist cuffs and ankle cuffs, and she buys it, and they're like handmade leather. And of course the man, so this is gross, but I have to just letting you know, the guy who makes it is like this handsome guy, but he works too much to have a relationship, right? So he ends up, you know, getting her order. You know, she's left a little note in there because it's like a pink set. It's like a baby pink set. Of course it is. He, like, I guess gets turned on by her note of her note that's attached to her thing, basically saying how like she's like a bored housewife and her husband doesn't want her. Maybe this will spice things up. And he actually like does the solo dance on the leather that he's using and just works it into the leather. So this poor woman is gonna be wearing him while she is with her husband. Why he thought to do this, I don't know. That can't be a random thought. That has to be something that he's done repeatedly. That's just saying. He ends up stalking her because she posts a photo wearing very little other clothing. But she's humiliated by her husband. Well, when she gets it, she puts it on for him. He's like, oh my God, what are you even doing? Stop. She becomes upset. She takes a very sexy photo wearing the stuff and posts it in her review, prompting the maker of said stuff to stalk her. The reason why I DNF'd this book is because Such a Good Girl is not just like a dark romance good girl thing. It's a dog kink. He wants her to wear a tail and like be like a puppy or a pet. It's like a pet kink. I'm unfamiliar with the terminology for this. I know it's it may be part of like the BDSM world, but it's like owner pet. I don't know. Not part of the world. I'm not yucking anyone's yum. It just isn't for me, right? So that's why I DNF'd it, because I didn't feel like it would be something that I personally would be able to get through. That's just not something that sparks to me. I have nothing against it. I didn't even rate it. I just didn't rate it because it's not something for me to yuck on. And then the final book that I read was actually my spoiler review from earlier this week, and that is Phantom by H.G. Carlton. Rated the book a 5 star. I rated the book a 5 star. Never thought that would happen with an H.G. Carlton book, ever. Never thought that I would do that, just because of how much I am so against Haunting Adeline as a dark romance concept. It was amazing. I mean, I know a lot of people had some problems with it. There were a couple problems with the book for sure. Like, I really didn't like the way it ended. I didn't like that it was abruptly cut off and we didn't get the full story of Gigi. Like, we got just that little part with Ronaldo. We got their love story, we got their start, but we didn't get her ending, and which is what I really wanted. Now, we might get the ending later on. You don't know. We don't know what H.G. Carlton's gonna come up with. We don't know if we're gonna get the story about what happened to Gigi. I would love to know that story. And I know we got a little glimpse of it in the end of Haunting, but I would love to know from that perspective, you know, what it is. So those are all the books that I read in February. I am currently reading a book called Chlorine by Jade Song. I am not too far into it yet. I think I'm actually going to read it tonight and maybe finish it. It's not that long. I also have it on audio, so if I wanted to just veg out and listen to it, I could. Yeah, I'm excited for March for sure. I'm so stoked. I have so many Alien Barbarian books that I have to read, and then, you know, my favorite series of the month, book 4 is coming out at the end of this month, so I'm so hyped for it. That was my February Wrapped. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.